guys, gals, friends, and pals, this is Paul EastXTwitch, and welcome to another episode of Saturday Game School, where we learn about a different game every Saturday of the year. Tonight, I am joined on mic by Human Brian.
Good evening.
And we are streaming 7 years from now on Nintendo Switch. This game is also available on Steam and mobile. So it originally came out on mobile, and I actually played the mobile version for a few minutes a year or two ago. Now it is out in enhanced form on Switch. So let's go. It's an adventure game of some sort, so there is going to be a lot of reading, but there's also walking around and stuff, so...
Hey, Bob
Anyway.
Jones.
Glad you made it, Bob. So this little boy says, deal, April 1st it is. A mysterious unseen figure says, right here on April 1st, 7 years from now. Don't forget. I won't, I promise. So they've made an arrangement to meet their kids, and they're going to meet literally 7 years in the future. That's a strange arrangement, don't you think?
That is a bit strange.
Chapter 1. That Dream Again. Yeah, and by the way, this should totally come out on Xbox and PlayStation. There's really no reason that it couldn't. I mean, it has a nice art style. The only thing I'll say is the character should walk as he moves around and not just hop in unanimated form or barely animated form.
Try again. Try not to
Morning.
use outdated racist terms, please.
Yeah, try getting British people to not say that. They don't like that idea.
I know, they still call the Germans Jerry's, but...
It's weird. It's like, okay, just because you didn't have it as a slur, or it wasn't the same kind of slur, or not as hurtful in your country, doesn't mean that you don't know it is a slur in the United States, which makes up a lot of the people that you're interacting with online. So it is strange how they often resent that.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. You may need to move your chat, because it's covering up the,
Oh, yeah,
text.
I guess it is. Oh, chat, when we learn. Put it up in the upper left corner. Hopefully that'll be
Yeah.
fine.
That'll do. Hopefully.
So the mom is leaving the son Haruto to stay at this old house, and the dad will be there. It's been a while since they were there. I see. So they've moved away from here apparently a while back, but retained ownership of the place. 5 days with your dad. That could be the name of a game. 5 Days with Dad. You know, it's kind of like Five Nights with Freddy's. Make sure you go see that doctor I told you
Just
about.
as scary.
Indeed. Ooh. For me, with my dad who doesn't even speak English, that would be quite a challenge. Go straight on your left. Cheeky clinic. So I got to go visit the doctor. He's going to be on the left.
You're going to start seeing a lot more games on the Xbox platforms from Japanese devs, because a lot of them are already making those games for PC, and it's super easy to port, considering all the SDKs are the same from PC to console, as long as they're using DirectX 12, that is.
That's true, but why didn't we see that 2 years ago? Or 3 years ago?
They're lazy. Japanese devs are always slow.
Oh, 7 years ago I was adopted by my current parents. I can't recall any memories of my time before that. Interesting. Is it because you were just a little kid, or did you have amnesia? I only asked my parents about it once. Where I was and what I was doing before I met them. Mom told me two things. I used to live in this town, and we met at the hospital. Mom looked so pained when she spoke about it, I couldn't ask anymore. Yeah, no, you have the right to know that kind of information.
Yeah, for medical reasons, if nothing else.
There you go. But people are naturally going to be curious about their origin. You don't hide it from them when they're
I don't
teenagers
care.
or whatever. From time to time. Well, you were there for it. I dream about the promise I made to a girl whose name and face I don't remember. But this guy, he's got this weird amnesia. He only remembers this one big event from back then. March 29th, 4 more days until the promised day from 7 years ago. We're probably not going to get to that point, guys, because I think this game is 6 or so hours long. I have to go to that place. But let's see what we can find out. This is published by PQUBE, which is a really cool publisher. They publish a lot of Japanese and Asian things, but not only that. And it was really cool of them to offer us some Switch code, so how can we say no to that?
Yeah, it is very awesome.
Yeah, and I already like the art style. Oh yeah, a Darker Player is disappointed with Nintendo. What is it you're disappointed about, Darker Player?
Is it the
Is
OLED Switch?
It's probably the OLED Switch, which I wrote an article about at Co-Optimus.
I mean,
No idea
I
what
I
this
think
is.
it's just a stepping stone to get their production built up for their new console.
You could be right. Let's look
You
at
know,
that.
because the Switch is 7 years old, 6 years old.
It's got to be less than 7.
No, it's 5 years old because it was 2016, so it's 5 years old.
There you go. Yeah, they're gonna milk that thing for a while, aren't they? I mean, it keeps getting new cool games. I wish they'd do something about its ability to handle
I
things
mean,
at a good frame rate. That'd be nice.
the dock is actually super. It's quite a bit different. They've changed it to where it's not going to scratch screens so much, which is something they should have done immediately.
Yes, because it cracked my freaking screen protector like right away. I've lived with a cracked screen
really?
protector the whole time I've had the Switch.
Oh,
I
it
didn't do
crack
anything
mine,
wrong to
but-
it. Yeah, I don't know if it's just slid in at the wrong millimeter or what the deal is, but it's dumb that
Yeah.
it was designed in a way that it could do that.
The OLED definitely makes a huge difference for VR because regular LCD panels cannot get black, like true black, whereas
Yeah.
OLEDs can, and it makes a difference in VR. It really does.
So we're gonna go check out the doctor's office now.
But I think they mostly did it because the display controllers for LCD panels are getting hard to find
Ooh.
because the factories that are making them aren't making enough of them.
Well, I think they should transition away from the regular Switch, but maybe they have enough stock that they don't need to do that yet.
They haven't discontinued the normal Switch
Yeah.
yet. They probably will.
I think
It could also be the Samsung is giving them a heck of a deal on tiny, 7-inch 720p OLED screens.
could be.
That is entirely possible, as Platinum says.
So I just met the doctor. I have something for you from my parents. What is it? How do you know my parents, Doctor? It's been a while. It's not the first time that we've met. Really? I don't remember much of the past. What was I like? Yeah,
People want a
people.
4K Switch, but it ain't gonna happen. Not without a brand new CPU, and that will most likely break pretty much all their games because developers code very, very specifically
Well,
for CPU quirks and other things to squeeze performance out, and you go changing CPUs, and all bets
it's
are off.
possible. Well, supposedly developers have been told to make their games 4K ready for a while now. Like, you ever heard that? I've heard it. I don't know if it's actually true.
I
But
mean,
you know,
maybe. I mean, they might do backwards compatibility, but that's going to be a whole thing. Because
that would
Nintendo
be
doesn't
fine.
doesn't have doesn't have a very specific framework in SDK like Sony and Microsoft both do. They just don't have that.
So the doctor's not helpful about explaining Ichiki, the protagonist's past. Yeah, no, Platinum, I would buy a 4K Switch right away. I'd be happy to have a 4K one, and I'd enjoy it more.
I think Nvidia is going to produce a new SoC, which is the CPU and the GPU. They're going to produce a new one for a new console that will have something like DLSS. So DLSS 2.2 was released recently, and it is amazing. It can take a 720p image, and it's not as good as native 4K, but it looks exceedingly good.
Look at Wolfblade getting online. Dang it, Wolfblade, pay attention.
But yeah, as Platinum says, Nvidia hasn't produced a new Tegra chip with tensor cores yet. So until they do, it's not happening.
Maybe that's the limitation then.
And
So I
that'll also give them ray tracing if they put tensor cores in it. So that would actually
Ooh.
bring it up to parity with the other consoles.
My character has a canker sore. What's a canker sore? Is that a cold sore?
It's a sore in your mouth. It's kind of like a cold sore, but it's inside
Like
your
an
mouth.
ulcer?
Yeah,
Ooh.
it's an ulcer in your mouth.
I see. And the doctor's giving me medicine and says not to tell my parents that he gave it to me. That's weird. Worst case, I'll be arrested. What the heck is he giving me?
If you're a minor, he's not allowed to give you medicine without your parents' permission.
He says he's joking. But yeah, and Japan has really strict prescription laws. You know, a lot of times Americans and people from other countries, even celebrities, get arrested or fined when they bring their own prescription medicine into the country.
That usually happens when it's not inside the bottle, or you bring an excessive amount. Like I heard some lady, she was staying in the country for quite a while, like a couple months, and she brought a lot of meds, and she got arrested for it.
Jeez.
Oops.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be very cautious.
At that point, you'd probably just bring like a month's supply and then, get the script filled in country. But a lot of countries are different.
Yeah, I mean, if I was going to Japan to stay for any length of time, I would make sure to read up on the rules on that first before I just casually took my own stuff.
That's weird because, like, when my wife and I went to the UK a couple years back, like, we tried to buy melatonin, the sleep aid in a drugstore, and it's like you cannot buy it without a prescription over there, where it's just, off-the-shelf drug here.
Brian, did I just see that Zero Adam is here and gifted his subscription to Jordan?
Yep. I think he's getting a bit sloshed and watching a UFC fight.
Adam or
Adam.
Jordan? Oh. So, hello, Adam, if you're paying attention. He didn't say hi or anything, did he?
No, he just dropped a gift sub.
That is very nice. I was just thinking about how we lost a subscriber too, right? Like we've been hoping to pick up a couple to make up for it. So that's good.
Mm-hmm.
This one. Just a silent viewer. Smells good, right?
He's a dirty lurker, I believe is what we call them.
Yes, I think I know the smell. Uh-oh. I'm getting a little sleepy. Did the doctor just sedate me?
He slipped you a Mickey?
Yeah. Are you okay? You must be exhausted. Passed right out. Chapter 1, the beginning. So that was a strange turn of events there.
He did slip you a Mickey. Wow.
Yeah, just the other day, like within the last week, I was remembering fondly playing through Resident Evil 6 in co-op with Adam. Resident Evil 6 is not a good game. It's especially compared to Part 5, which I liked a whole lot. But it was fun. It was much more bearable playing it with a friend. So those were the days. And yeah, we miss him. It's a shame. We always wanted him to be a part of the stream. Then when he got he basically just started counter streaming instead rather than joining us, which is...
he's got his own stuff to do.
Yeah, he does, but it still would have been better to have him on mic.
He plays very different games.
Tyler. You think so? Well,
oh, yeah.
I mean,
I know so.
But I play a lot of classic games and stuff on my own. It's just that stream-wise, we have to stream what we can get codes for. Are you okay? You seem a little out of it. So that's just sort of a limitation of the design of our stream. The Saturday stream, that is. Do you know what day it is today? Wednesdays could be a different story. Just this last Wednesday I streamed Ghosts and Goblins Resurrection, didn't I?
I don't know. I was out of town.
Yeah, that's true. It's too bad you missed it, because that game is really cool. Also, I wish Tyler had been here to see it, because I'm sure it's right up his alley.
Is that the one on the new Capcom collection thing?
It's just its own game. It's a $30 game on Xbox, PlayStation, Switch, and Steam. Yeah, it's a legitimate sequel or or remake. I'm not sure if it's a sequel or a remake, but it's really nice. Like, it has lower difficulty options, so you don't have to play where it's kicking you in the nuts hard, although it's still pretty hard.
That game was so much fun, but it's so hard.
Yeah, so this one finally gives you...
so hard.
This one is much more bearable, and it has two-player co-op, and if you play two-player, it's even more bearable, while still being quite challenging. Like, it took me 25 minutes or so to beat a boss, just trying over and over. It was a little embarrassing, but we beat it right at the end of the stream.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, the only problem I have with that game is once you beat it, then you got to beat it again.
Yes, that is an insane design. Oh, but this new one, it's level to level. Like, it saves your progress, and you can go back and play old levels and stuff. So
Oh,
I
that's
think,
nice.
yeah, if you're not playing on the highest difficulty, then I don't think you have to worry about that twice in a row thing. Or, I mean, at least you can do it at your own pace. About your past, Haruto, I might recall something if we speak more often. If you have anything you want to talk about, free to come by anytime. How
I'm
tantalizing.
completely ignoring the game. The style of this reminds me a lot of The Tourist. I'm not sure how you say it. It's
You don't know how
also
to
a
say
Switch
tourist?
game.
You've been
Well,
a
it's,
tourist.
it's spelled weird. It's got a Y in there.
Oh,
I think it's tourist, and it looks a lot like this game.
I believe the word
Uh,
is tryst.
Tourist, I don't know. Yeah, there you go.
It's not really tryst, but trysts are awesome.
Platinum's got it. The
Yeah,
tourist.
tourist. Yeah,
That's a pretty fun game. That's a lot. It's a lot like Fez and other kind of voxelized 8-bit style 3D rendered games.
yeah. That kind of style, while some people oddly look down on it, can be quite pleasing. Again, the only thing that doesn't look good about this one is the fact that the characters don't really animate. But otherwise, it's charming.
He just sort of bounces around.
Yeah.
Looks like he's floating.
And like when they were upgrading it for Switch and Steam, they could have spent a little money on animating the characters. Apparently
Some
not.
ray tracing.
Yeah, that too. Mondays. Oh, passerby is that guy must be Garfield. Perhaps it's Andrew Garfield.
Nah, Tuesday's the worst day. Mondays are fine.
For me at school, Mondays are really hard because I can never get to sleep before 1 or 2 in the morning on Sundays. So, yeah, that part's rough. I wonder when I'll get better, says the inpatient. Looks like we're at a hospital.
I wonder when I'll get over my weird disease.
By the way, there are no guides for this online. Like, I could not find one walkthrough.
Nobody plays it.
Well, I mean, it was actually a popular free mobile game, right? And then it just came out. I mean, it's been out for maybe 2 weeks or something on bigger platforms. But yeah, I was hoping there'd be some kind of little simple walkthrough somewhere, but no such luck. But I think maybe it's because maybe it's just impossible to get stuck or hard to get stuck.
Oh, that could be. It could be just extremely linear.
Yeah. Flowers are so lucky, man. Flowers are lucky.
They just get to sit there and people take care of them,
Yeah.
feed them, and then murder them mercilessly to stick them in a vase.
Aw. And Platinum says it reminds him of Dragon Quest Builders. Yeah, achievement hunting must make Builders 2 a lot more challenging, doesn't it, Platinum? That's a great game, though. The smell is familiar. Brian, so far I haven't done very well on my summer gaming goals. Hey, are you listening to me? I am playing a lot of stuff, and Borderlands 3 is going to end up being my summer game that I spend the most time with. Because I'm playing with Tom and Icky. Meteor showers are so exciting, says Aoi.
I have
Let's
played
go.
hardly anything. I played Mario Golf.
Oh, nice. How are you liking it?
It's fun.
I sure did like the GameCube version, which I think was from the same developer.
My only
Totally,
issue
Wolfie.
with it is to unlock all of the courses, you have to play through the adventure, and that's kind of a slog.
That's too bad. Is there anything you can do to speed up the pace? Aoi, are you okay?
Not really.
Yeah, Wolfie, I look forward to playing with you on Wednesday, although we're planning to play Zombie Army 4 for our Wednesday stream this week. I think you have a fever. No, I'm fine, just a little tired, she says. Icky's playing Bug Fable. Is that the new Game Pass game?
Yeah,
Didn't-
it's very similar to Paper Mario, but a little more adult oriented.
How adult-oriented are we talking about? There's nobody else on this floor.
I haven't played it. I just read a couple things that say it's a little more adult oriented.
Oh, okay.
And has bugs in it.
That part makes sense.
Hence
Yeah,
the name.
I should try that out, but like single player wise, we streamed Round Guard a week ago, and I really fell in love with that game, so I've been playing it throughout the week when I'm playing by myself. Great
Nice.
game. Yeah, and I played a little bit of Tetris Evolution Connected, which Brandy and I played with Lyle several times, but I'm also playing a little bit single player, and so is Brandy. Which one is it?
That's the new one, right?
Yeah, it's on Game Pass, but
Yeah,
it's...
that game is awesome.
Yeah, like Brandon plays with the sound off, which is crazy, but she plays a
Why
lot of
would
things.
you do
I have
that?
no idea. I mean, you get the controller vibrations, so you're still getting some of the experience, but yeah, it's rave Tetris, Like, I still wish it had more of a personality. Like, I like a colorful cartoon character kind of Tetris, like Puyo Puyo Tetris. but the rave trance weird atmosphere is pretty cool too. In that case,
I
I'll
mean,
push the button for you.
They actually designed the game around that mechanic. That's the whole point of it.
Yeah, it's an interesting experience.
To play it without the music is weird.
Inadvisable.
It's like playing with your eyes closed. It doesn't make sense.
But she's
Congrats,
not too.
Spaz.
Yay, Spazpole. She's getting better at Tetris though, which is good because she was pretty rusty to start. I kind of.
The game gets hard.
It does.
It
I can
gets
jump
really hard.
But are you like me, Brian? Like I jump into Tetris and the skills come back basically instantly. But yeah,
It takes a little bit of going, but yeah, once you get into it, it's not too bad.
she has a fever. I have to call someone. Let's do
the
it.
whole game is built around that music, though. That was the idea when they designed it. Otherwise, they would not have designed the game. They actually they couldn't release the soundtrack for it originally right after the game released because the soundtrack is completely interactive and in the cues of the game. So they actually had to go through and they had to remix everything.
Ooh.
And that's why it took ages for the soundtrack to come out. It's on Spotify now and all streaming services. But
That's good.
they had to completely go back and remix it because the soundtrack is based on how you play the game. So if you play slowly, it takes quite a while to build up. But if you play quickly, it can get, it gets pumping pretty fast.
And I do play decently quickly. Like I drop the pieces straight down, once I line them up.
Exactly.
So my character was supposed to watch a meteor shower with this girl at the hospital, but she has a fever and she's not feeling good, so he had to call. Which button did you push? And also, somebody was looking for him. He pushed the blue button. She likes the red one more. What a weird thing to say. Next time I'll push the red one. Yeah, you're so weird, she says. Next time I'll be the one to push it, dies. It's not a race. Next time. Flowers would be nice. So if you don't win this tonight for the Switch and you don't decide to buy it for Steam, there's always the mobile version for free and it's the same game. It's either free or $1, but I got it for free when I got it. So yeah, keep that in mind, everybody. But it's only $10 on Switch and Steam, and that's not bad either. Was that a memory? Oh, that was a memory. Aoi, that was her name. Maybe that's the girl I was supposed to meet 7 years from now. And Platinum is saying something about Ian parties. People named Ian do like to party. LAN?
I remember LAN parties. I remember doing
That's
LAN
why
parties
capitalization
in college.
matters.
I know.
For everything
It's
else.
supposed to be capitalized. It's an acronym.
Yeah, because it looks like Ian if you don't capitalize it.
But I remember doing LAN parties, staying up like 36 hours straight, playing shooters and all kinds of crazy stuff.
Ooh.
Playing board games too.
We did Xbox LAN parties with the original Xbox, so lots of the original Halo and Time Splitters 2 mainly, a few other things.
We were mostly PC shooter fans, so Quake 3, Unreal Tournament, that sort of stuff.
Also fun. The good thing about Halo LAN parties was 4 people could play on one system, right? So you can get 4 systems together with relative ease compared to like 16 PCs,
Ooh, that functionality is actually still built into the Xbox Series consoles. If you connected them all together with the little switch or a hub and network connections, you can actually do that still with the Halo games.
Nice.
The original ones.
The Master Chief Collection, I would assume, supports it. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, it still supports the local multiplayer with up to 16 people.
Yeah, that's such a great feature, and I wish more games did. I actually ran an FAQ that I updated for years that tracked which games supported LAN and had split screen and stuff,
That is wrong, Darker Player. The first console that you could connect and do a LAN party with was...
Was it the Jaguar? Of course they come across... No, I don't actually know.
Dreamcast, I think. But it had a modem in it.
But no, that's the thing. Saturn and PS1 did come before the Dreamcast, so if they had...
Yeah, but the PS1 never had a modem.
But a LAN party doesn't need a modem, it only needs local area. So a link cable is what she means.
It didn't have a... Well,
there were...
maybe.
Yeah, like the Saturn in Japan had a link cable. They didn't bring it to America.
The Game Boy probably was the first one you could do that with, because they had the 4-way cable where you plugged four Game Boys into the same, like, weird octopus thing.
Ooh. Yeah, that was fun. We played F1 Race that way back in the day.
I never had a Game Boy.
That's too bad. It was a really fun experience, and that's where I learned to play Tetris pretty well. I'm looking for somebody who knows me. That's a weird thing to ask when you go to a hospital. What are you looking for? And by the way, somebody just said that the morgue is haunted at this hospital, which would be cool.
Nice.
Cool, Spaz. I'm glad you played F1 Racing too. Pretty fun game. Little bit boring, but when you're playing with friends, not boring.
But the first console that had a built-in network adapter, like actual Ethernet network adapter, was
the Dreamcast?
The Xbox.
Wait.
Dreamcast had a 56K modem.
No, yeah, you're right. You had to buy a LAN adapter.
Get one.
Yeah.
And actually, they're extremely rare right now.
Yeah, I can't remember if I had one or not. I knew it was hard to... I don't remember much about it.
The built-in for the Dreamcast was a 56K modem.
Yes. Upgraded over the Japanese one, wasn't it? Or was it 56 in Japan too?
I think the original Japanese one was the 33.6.
You could be right, because I know the Sega Saturn Netlink, the modem for that, they had to upgrade it over the Japanese. They upgraded it to 28 or 33 over like 14, I think, in Japan, something like that.
Yeah, the American version had the ability to buy a 10100 network adapter for the Dreamcast as an aftermarket add-on.
Yes, and it came out late in the lifespan.
Correct. And, well, I mean, the lifespan of the console was only 2 years, so...
True. Well, I had Dreamcast an extra year because I bought the Japanese one before the American one came out. Or close to an extra year. It was maybe like 6 or 9 months or whatever. I forget.
Yeah, the Famicom did have a modem in Japan. You could actually download games for it.
That is really cool. Okay. So I've had no luck finding people who know me yet.
A bunch of consoles before the Xbox had the ability to buy a network adapter for them, such as the PlayStation and the GameCube and the Dreamcast. But the Xbox was the first to come with it built in, so every console had one.
The Saturn and PS1 both had a link cable, so it wasn't like a true network port, but you could link two systems together just from the one cable, which is the same basic experience.
It's the
so
same.
Where am I supposed to go? Yeah. I'll see. I'll go outside and look.
Yeah, it took a long time to get network connection to consoles to be a thing. A bunch of companies tried it. Nintendo, Sega, Jaguar. You know, they all tried it multiple times, and it just never caught on.
Yeah, the internet acceptance wasn't what it is today.
Well, so, yeah, and you couldn't exactly download a big game over, you know, a 56K modem. It would take a while.
And they didn't have built-in hard drives until the first Xbox, so... Crap.
Yes, you could do it on the... in Nintendo 60... Well, you could do it on the original Nintendo. Well, not Nintendo, the Famicom. You had to have the disk system. You could actually download games and copy them to it. But that was another thing that just didn't make it to the West. Sadly.
Yeah, sometimes it's a shame. But a lot of the games, you know, they had those Famicom Detective Club games, you know, and they would have been neat, but they didn't like to bring that kind of game over to English markets very often.
Yeah, sadly, they had a lot of good games for the Famicom disk system. The 64DD was pretty close. Yeah, they only brought out, well, they put it out in Japan and only released, I want to say, like 6 games for it, maybe 10. And they killed it before it, like the week before it launched in the US, they just killed it.
Nishikata explosion. Yeah, that's such a shame. So there's some kind of historic explosion I gotta ask about. Oh, this guy was a journalist back in the day. He's like me. He's not next to his fishy. Really? I'm convinced it was no accident. A lot of casualties. And they barely released any info to the public. He's retired.
Surprised you didn't just whip up what the heck is that called? I can't even remember what that style of network is called. The one that uses BNC connectors and coax. What's it called?
I have no idea. ISDN? What are you on about, kid? The accident we're talking about. It happened right here at this very hospital 7 years ago. Usenet, Spaspol says. Chapter 2, the past. So now, the end. Okay. So I found out that...
That's the end of that chapter.
Save progress, yes. So we found out there was a big accident in the past. It could be related to my memory loss and things like that. Save game. By the way, Brandy is visiting a friend right now, so that's why she's not here for the stream tonight. Glad you could make it, Brian. Otherwise, I'd be talking to myself.
I mean, when are you not? Hey, Brandy.
There she is. An accident, huh? I wonder if it has something to do with my memory loss. Yes, I am wondering that.
Good chance.
I have to return to the doctor. I can go now, but it's too late. I'll go tomorrow morning. By the way, everyone, just so you know, we are taking next Saturday off, I think. What is the date of next Saturday? Oh, no, the week after next week. 2 weeks from now, we are taking Saturday off. It's in the newsletter. So
30th?
The 24th.
24th. My math sucks.
No worries. Next week, it's not utterly set in stone, but we're probably streaming Super Bomberman R Online, which is the free-to-play Bomberman game that came out on all the platforms recently. It's free, but we did get premium, or we're getting premium $10 codes that unlock the extra characters and like playing with your friends and stuff. So really cool prize code, and it's crossplay, so we should be able to have Tyler play with us, which is exciting.
Cool.
Yeah, so I'm hoping for that. If anyone is interested in participating in that stream, make sure you let me know in advance, and we'll try to get you involved when we're setting the games up. We'll have to get you on mic, preferably. But I love Bomberman, so I'm very excited to be able to do that. And it's cool that I finally found a contact at Konami that we can work with, you know?
That is cool.
Yeah, because their PR is not easy to contact. They use deliberately obscure email addresses and change their email addresses over time and stuff. Really weird way to handle PR.
Oh man, I used the sign in with Apple thing for the first time on my phone to create an account for something I didn't care about. And there's an option you can pick that says don't give them my real address, and then it just gives them some like gobbledygook garbage address.
Ha, that's funny.
That then Apple internally forwards to you.
Oh.
I thought that was kind of humorous.
That's a
I'd never
nice
done that
option.
before. That'd be nice if Google did that.
That's true, because
So then if you don't want to get those emails anymore, you just tell Apple, delete that email address. And then you don't get emails anymore.
Good option.
Pretty cool.
Turn off the forwarding and whatnot. For people to know. My elder sister was a nurse at this hospital. This time I'm looking for info about the accident 7 years ago. You know anything about it? She just finished her shift and she's heading home. Let's go hang out with her. Oh great, somebody's calling to me. You're Howard too, right? Long time no see. It's been 7, 8 years? An old friend. Oh, now I don't get to go on a date with the nurse.
Dang it.
Why are you all clammed up? Sorry, I don't remember you. That's cold. You ever have that experience, Brian? You run into somebody who remembers you and you don't remember them?
No, because I remember everyone.
Must be nice. There was a teacher at my new school. I mean, I'm not new anymore, but at the start of the year, like a month in, this teacher recognized me from high school, and I don't remember one thing about her at all. And her name also dropped out of my head right away, which I hate. I have that problem. But I wish I at least remembered her, you know?
I remember people's faces. Couldn't tell you the names.
Ah.
I'm very good with
Riku.
faces.
Gotcha. Sometimes... I mean, I'm not any better or worse than other people, but it takes me a while to internalize a name and associate it with the face. You know, I have to meet the person like 3 times or something.
It takes me a long time. Unless you do something that makes me mad. Then I'll remember
That
you
makes
forever.
sense. We used to play together a lot. I've been looking for somebody who might know me. Good. Tell me about my past. I guess I could, but first let's grab a bite. Boy, they like to make you wait on everything here.
God, man, jeez.
Oh, let's go there. They have delicious
I just
fried
want to talk
rice.
about my trauma. Why do we
real.
gotta eat?
My parents won't tell me. He doesn't have any money. Dark Striker Bladevolt, welcome to the channel. Have you followed us, Dark Striker? I didn't notice a follow notification, but of course you need to in order to win a prize. So what do you want to know? I know I made a promise, so I want to know when, where, and with who I made that promise. That's with whom, not with who. Gonna need more info than that.
Grammar nerd.
Well, I never quite knew the rules behind whom before becoming a teacher, but I had to teach it at one point. So yeah, I learned it then, and now I try to keep up with it. Yeah, Darker Player, we should have prize, like we should have one prize for Xbox, PlayStation, and Switch, or something like that next week. They haven't delivered the prizes yet, so it's still a little up in the air. And if they don't get them back to me in time, then we'll find something else to stream. But I think it should happen on time. Is Aoi still living here? Uh-oh. I moved out of town a while back, so I'm not sure. Do you have her contact details? I wouldn't have had them. Did you move away because of the accident? Nope, I moved out before that. Yeah, I want to hear about this big explosion. The research center exploded, Brian. This building was completely fine.
Whoops.
I
Guess
wonder
you
what they
shouldn't
were
have mixed those
researching.
chemicals. I mean, you know.
What if you need if it was like a sci-fi thing or something that caused it'd be out of nowhere because it starts
It
out
was
so ordinary.
alien.
Woo! Or like they were
Oop,
developing
cat's out
time
of the bag.
travel.
He's an alien.
Oh crap! Private rooms go up to 64 players. Darker Player said. Well, you don't need to own the premium pack with Super Bomberman to play with us. Only I, the host, need to own it. So everybody who wants to play it with us, just make sure if you have an Xbox, make sure you're on my Xbox friends list, you know. And anyway, just communicate with me about it, and we'll make sure it happens. But you don't have to be on Xbox. You could play from PlayStation or PC or Switch, because we'll provide a room code and use the room code, and that's how the cross-platform multiplayer works. Uh-oh, my friend thinks I'm strange. My turn to ask you, what have you been doing up until now? I've been living with my parents. The only bad thing about playing Bomberman with me is that usually, not to brag, but usually I'm way better than everyone else. Because, you know, Bomberman used to be my game, like the thing that I was best at. So, you know, I often have to hold back and just not stomp everybody with it. But if anyone does think they're going to play with us, like Wolfblade, he should be planning to play with us, I would hope, right? So, but anyone like that, they should get in a little practice now, you know, and that way they can be prepared to not kill themselves over and over on Saturday. Sorry. Because that's the hardest thing about Bomberman compared to other games, Brian, is that you can accidentally blow yourself up, and beginners...
Yes. Oh, yes. I'm intimately familiar with Bomberman.
Nice. So that's a big part of the learning experience, is just learning not to kill yourself.
Yeah, don't accidentally trap yourself in a corner and then set a bomb down.
Oh, yeah. And believe me, even I do that occasionally, you know, when I'm moving too fast or whatever. No, and I'm not saying you have to be good. It's for your own good to try to practice and make sure you understand how to play first.
Yeah, Bomberman originally started on the PC.
Famicom. Actually, well, there was a Famicom version beforehand, wasn't there? They may have come out at the same time. But, yeah, 1987 would be the PC Engine version, I think.
Well, the PC Engine didn't come out till 1989 in the US.
Yeah, but not in
It was
Japan.
originally released in '85.
On the Famicom?
The Famicom, yep.
Yeah, that's right. But yeah, they added multiplayer, I believe, first in the PC Engine game. And then that caught on.
It was originally on the NEC, PCs, Sharp, the X1, the MSX, the Spectrum, the Famicom, the game. Okay, it was released
a lot
on
of computers.
stuff.
Japanese computers.
Of stuff, yeah. A lot of Japanese computers specifically.
Right on.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. 1983.
Wow.
in Japan.
Yeah, the very first Famicom or NES Bomberman has got very dated graphics, so I can believe 1983.
Well, that would have been
Place.
right when the Famicom came out.
Yeah,
Because that's when
so
it came out in Japan. It was 83.
explains the simplistic sprites. But there's a Bomberman 2 for the NES, and it's good looking. Like, it looks almost as good as a PC Engine game. The smell is familiar. And it has, I think, 3-player competitive in Bomberman 2 for NES.
My God. Japan had so many micro consoles, I guess you could call them.
Like what?
Microcomputers, that's what they were called.
Oh.
Like what we would consider like the Spectrum for our British friends, or the Commodore 64, or the VIC-20, or those kind of micro PCs.
I had a VIC-20.
Japan had so many of those. The MSX being one of the more popular ones, because that's where Metal Gear got its start. It was on the MSX originally.
Cool. By the way, speaking of that, did you know somebody has like a Metal Gear clone? Like it's a clone of the original Metal Gear, like a new one. Yeah, a new one coming out. And it's not, obviously it's not called Metal Gear, but it's that style of game, and that's pretty neat if you enjoyed the original Metal Gear.
The original was weird. I had it for the NES. It was strange.
I rented it. It was complicated, like for a rental, a lot of trial and error and learning
It was
what things do.
extremely complicated.
Yeah.
You had to remember, either you had to remember everything or you had to write it down.
Go Monkbox!
Good job, good job.
Yes. We'll probably find a magazine that had a strategy guide in it. Back then, individual games didn't have strategy guides unless they were like a big computer game.
Well, that's because all the games you could beat in, say, like 3 or 4 hours, but they were super hard, so you just kept dying a lot.
Yeah, there was that, and the fact that the market was still developing really during the NES days. But yeah, you could get a magazine and it would have guides for like maybe 4 or 6 games in it, that kind of thing. Nintendo Power also would have maps and strategies, which was nice.
Yeah, which is weird, because the as they're saying, Spaz and Darker are saying, the MSX was co-developed by Microsoft.
Wow, and yet it wasn't released in the United States.
It wasn't released in the US, and it was a huge hit in Japan.
I know the MSX2 did pretty good graphics. Like the MSX is very graphically underpowered, but the MSX2 is kind of 16-bit looking. Probably was 16-bit for all I know, but the games looked a lot better.
It was 8-bit, I think. I don't think it was 16-bit because it used the
even the
Z80.
Oh.
The 2, I'd have to look up the 2. I don't
yeah,
know.
no, the first one very likely 8-bit, yeah. But there's a website, Hardcore Gaming 101, for which I've done copy editing, but I've never written. But anyway, they cover lots of old games, and they like to cover each version of a game, so they'll show a screenshot of all the different Japanese computer versions or European computer versions and stuff. And I always find that stuff very interesting. So it's a good place to read about games. I read about the Famicom detective games there recently, like a month ago. Looking forward to it. And they cover like 16-bit, even 32-bit and newer stuff, but a lot of classic stuff and Japanese stuff.
Cool.
Promise. I swear.
Yeah, that was before I was born, so that was, I never really got into it too much. Because by the time I was old enough to start playing games, like really start playing games, the Genesis was out and the Super Nintendo was out. So I never really got too heavy into the 8-bit and the micro PC. I never got into that sort of stuff.
I think I might have had the VIC-20 at the same time we had an NES. Like it was already dated when I got it, but a relative had won it from a contest or something and gave it to me for Christmas, which was very nice.
Tech Guy.
Tech Guy, we're glad you finally made it. Zero on Twitch was asking about you earlier, Tech Guy. He was apparently here, even though he still hasn't said one thing in chat. That was
he's busy watching the UFC fight.
A random act of kindness, just threw it out there. What's wrong? Let's go.
I did mention I was co-hosting in his Discord, so that's probably why he popped
inspired him. Good man. hard to. So this is Riku's little bro we're meeting. I have allergies and sinus problems. I take medicine for my allergies every day, but they don't actually help all that much. The
It
medicine.
doesn't help all that much. I take some very, very strong stuff, and it doesn't help that much. I take Zyzal, which is apparently the strongest non-prescription allergy med you can take.
Oh, well, I take actual prescription medicines like Montkelisat or something like that. It's like a very unintuitive name.
Montelukast sodium.
Yeah, probably that.
It's singular.
Yeah, it helps some, not a whole lot. But...
It's actually asthma medication is what that is.
Oh, okay, good. Well, since I have asthma, that makes sense.
I take that too.
You have asthma as well?
No, it's for sinus problems.
Gotcha.
They off-label it for sinus problems.
LMD. He'll have around 2 years to live once it really shows up. Dang.
Wow, that sucks.
Yeah. Kind of a tragic situation. Is there any way to cure it? No. Is LMD a real thing? Is that Lou Gehrig's main disease, I guess is what it stands for?
No, that would be ALS.
Oh, true. Let's head back.
Atrophic lateral sclerosis, I think is what it stands for. I'm probably wrong about that.
Tech guy, I haven't taken Sudafed in a long time. Isn't Sudafed like over the counter, but they keep it behind the counter? I believe is how it's handled here in the United States.
Some versions of Sudafed, yes. It depends on which one you get.
Which means it
probably they can distill it and make meth out of it.
Whoa, dang.
Yeah, that's
why.
But
I would imagine it's also going to be decently effective, but I could be wrong. As a medicine, I mean. Still see the marks we made on the walls.
Yeah, there are some versions of Sudafed that are not hidden behind the counter, but I think the one with the decongestant in it is the one you can cook into meth.
Yikes.
So, they also hide all like the Tylenol Sinus with decongestant. They had all that stuff in the pharmacy because they scan your ID.
Spouse poll, don't say
and
that.
They put you in a national system here in the U.S. So if you go around to all the pharmacies buying a bunch of this stuff, the DEA will come knock on your door.
So that's a good reason just not to buy it.
Hey, what you doing?
Jeez. Also, Bombshell, my friend from 7 years ago, Aoi, the one I'm supposed to meet in 7 years, she died 7 years ago.
Dun dun dun. Making promises with dead girls.
Yeah, and then my friend, for some reason, said, "Who are you?" Which, I don't know why.
Maybe you are Aoi. And you
Hopefully
had a sex change operation.
When I streamed, as far as streaming adventure games go, they're not the easiest kind of game to stream interestingly and not necessarily with our format where we like to have co-hosts.
Very text heavy.
Yes. So when I streamed Doki Doki Literature Club and read the whole thing until I got hoarse, I decided that was not an effective way to stream. So I hope people don't mind that we're talking about other stuff mostly, but...
There's a secret meth cooker at KFC. Nice.
Yeah, let's not talk about drugs so much, guys. Last thing I need is some parent complaining.
Oh, kids.
My kid learned how to make meth on EastXTwitch's stream. No. Can't let that happen.
You should be a chemistry teacher if they learned how on your stream. Dang.
Well, I mean, they'll take a little thing and they'll misinterpret it.
Forgot you live in Texas.
Yeah, but not just Texas. I mean, that could happen in your state too, buddy.
Yeah.
We both live in states run by ignorant people, unfortunately.
That's for sure.
Yeah, and the ignorant leadership sets the tone for the population.
Yeah, I have not seen Black Widow yet because I do not want to pay Disney $30 for a movie I can watch in, 3 months for free?
Yeah, that's...
I mean, if I was getting the whole experience of the movie theater, then sure I would. But
I'm a little not lined up well. Let me get lined up better here. That's better. I want to see it, guys. We're thinking about going to the theater during the afternoon on a weekday so that it's not crowded, because we don't want to be in a crowded environment.
Go to the first showing on like Tuesday, and there'll be like you in the theater.
Yeah, that's our basic plan. We're hoping for a light population, and then that should be fine. But like, even if you don't actually have Disney Plus, if you had a lot of people who were gonna go, then just getting Disney Plus and paying for the stupid $30 rental would be a good option for some people. But,
Welcome, Dirty Raiders.
yay, Braumeister! Glad to see you, dude. The chat got kind of misaligned. Oh, there it goes. He's raiding with a party of 5. Stick around, party of 5. I never watched that show, by the way. Okay.
What do you mean when it's not Disney only? All Disney movies are Disney.
Oh, I think he means he'll buy it on video when it's not exclusive to Disney Plus, and I don't blame him for not wanting to buy it through that way.
I see.
Yeah.
Gotcha now. Gotcha.
Yeah, I mean, I think Loki just concluded, and we're...
No, it hasn't. It concludes next Wednesday.
Oh, okay. How many total episodes are there, do you know?
6. I have watched them all. They are all very good.
I thought you said it concludes next Wednesday. Won't there be 7 then?
No. 6 in total. There are 5 out right now.
Then how... Oh, okay. Gotcha. Okay, what am I even supposed to be doing?
Yeah, Loki's turned out to be very, very good. I like it quite a lot.
People say it. You know, it had that game Polybius in the background. You ever heard of Polybius?
Mm-mm.
It's like a fabled, like an urban legend arcade game. It's one that was never actually released. But people...
Cool.
Yeah, people like to talk about it and stuff. And New Wave Toys, is it New Wave or Quarter Arcades? One of those two who makes the like smaller arcade repros is making like a reproduction of the cabinet, of the imaginary cabinet. And anyway, Loki, the show, in the latest episode had the cabinet in the background, which is like a really sly detail to include.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. But I don't think it's a game. I don't think there ever was a playable Polybius. I could be wrong. I'd have to read up on it again.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've never heard of it, so I don't know.
It's an interesting title.
Loki's got one more episode, and it has been very good.
That's exciting.
And it is the lead-in to the next Doctor Strange movie.
Ooh.
Because, they've talked about the multiverse extensively, and, that is going to lead directly to the Multiverse of Madness, which is the subtitle for Doctor Strange 2.
Exciting. Yeah, and isn't Bruce Campbell in Doctor Strange 2? Somebody told me he was, but
That is what I've heard?
I hope it's right. This friend who told me that, he does not have a good online BS detector, so he believes things that are not true decently often.
Yeah,
Sort of
I
like,
don't know. Bruce
sort of like
Banner
darker...
is going to be in it.
Oh, well, that's
the
good.
Hulk is going to be in it, I believe.
Yeah, I like him. It's from the convenience store. It's just a regular one. Let's go have the gravy one together next time. These two can't get a handle on eating together. You ate fried rice just to tell me that? Is that weird? Okay, these two are strange.
Weird kids. But then again, they're what, like 14?
Yeah, they're teenagers.
So yeah, they're going to be strange. I remember being very strange at that age.
I guess I probably was too. I had the same interests that I have now. I don't think I've changed very much in that way.
H manga. H games. Girls.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Rock and roll music.
Video games, anime. I still drew back then. I honestly haven't drawn very much in the last 10 years, which is a shame. Since graduating college. 107 years ago, right? Well, Sarah was at the hospital. It's gone, yeah. Okay. But Marvel-wise, we watched Ant-Man. We're watching them chronologically to get Brandy caught up. She had not seen Ant-Man. She thought she had, but she hadn't.
Oh, really? That's a good movie.
Yeah, and she liked it.
Ant-Man 2 is really good, too.
I've only seen Ant-Man 2 the once in theater, so I'm looking forward to getting around to watching it at home finally.
I think I cashed in all my Disney movie points and got a free copy of that on 4K Blu-ray.
Oh, neat. It's a reward?
Yeah. Because
Sweet.
my points were getting ready to expire, so I'm like, well, I might as well spend them.
Yeah. I collect them all on 4K Steelbook, and unfortunately you cannot get Steelbooks from Disney Movie Club or Disney Movie Rewards. Braumeister's about 5 movies behind, he says. Yeah, I'm glad you guys like Ant-Man as well. And I remember Ant-Man 2 is pretty fun, but I just don't remember it that well.
It's good. It's a good movie. Cool. I like this.
Still here.
Yeah, I have all the Marvel movies except for, I think, the newest Spider-Man one.
Oh,
Otherwise,
that's
I own all of them on Blu-ray or 4K Blu-ray, one of the two.
Far From Home. I recall being a very fun movie, although like the story is not necessarily the most important for the overall universe. But who cares if it is or isn't? You know?
It's the wrap up after Endgame. You know, it's sort of the conclusion of that arc of the stories, and the next movies are going to start the new arc, starting with Doctor Strange 2.
Nice. I'm looking forward to seeing how that goes. And Black Widow.
Because all the first movies have been sort of building up to Thanos.
Yeah, and
building and building and building and building and building, and then all, now that saga is over, now they have to start a new one.
building up to Kang the Conqueror.
Possibly.
Well, Kang the Conqueror is definitely going to be in one of the movies, they've already said. So.
Oh, they have? Okay.
Yeah,
I mean,
so
that's probably what Loki's building into.
Kang's a big threat, although I don't think he's a Thanos level threat, but, I'm sure they'll still tell a great story with him.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know.
Could be a coincidence. Dr. Shintani disappeared the next day. This has got kind of an interesting story that we're missing out on. Uh-oh. Oh, yeah, Tech Guy, that has been the rumor. Like, the rumor is that the next Spider-Man will have... It's definitely going to have somebody... Is it Willem Dafoe is confirmed to be in it, or... I forget who. But, like, a few real established actors from old Spider-Man movies are going to be in it. But it has not confirmed Andrew Garfield or the guy who can't act. What's his name?
Toby?
Yeah, Tobey Maguire. Can't act. But...
Yeah, I have a feeling it's going to be a multiverse of madness type thing where there's all these different Spider-Men from the different realities, quote unquote.
Yeah, and it's weird because there's already the animated movie that did it so well, but
yeah, the Spider-Verse.
People are interested in seeing the live-action weird twisty crossover with non-MCU versions of the characters. That's interesting, so we do all want that. Or Brownmeister doesn't, but a lot of us do want that.
I think this could go very badly if they do it wrong.
They usually get it right. We gotta trust them. Usually.
Yeah. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt, but if they get this wrong, it's just gonna be super cheesy.
I think it's... I mean, they've done a lot of things. Like when they did the Avengers, bringing those characters together, that was such a huge fanboy thrill,
Mm-hmm.
So this will be a new, similar kind of thrill, though. It's like, wow, Tobey Maguire's back, that kind of thing. That'll be... Even though I don't think he's a good actor, like I still enjoyed those movies okay. So yeah, it'll be cool to see him back.
Yeah, I'm curious. I'm gonna see what this is. I want to see what it turns into because it could be a complete, train wreck.
Too weird.
I was looking for a polite word to say there.
The biggest problem with Marvel movies when they don't go very well is like they don't have a tight script, and so they're kind of incoherent. It's like a bunch of different scenes and they don't connect well. That was Iron Man 2 and Thor: The Dark World to an extent. And so exactly. I could see that being a problem as well. We'll see. Yeah. Oh, Tech Guy, that is an interesting idea to think about. Say progress. Yes. Let's do it. Okay. We're going to go through one or two more chapters here for the stream, guys. I like this game quite well. We're not paying very good attention as we should, but hopefully we're all still having a good time. Hey, there's Royal Bob. We're glad you made it, Royal Bob. No, I do not like that scene, Bob Jones. Spider-Man 3 has fun parts, like I can watch it and have a good time, but is it a good movie? I would say no, it's not a good movie. And
I am not buying the new Metroid game yet, Darker Player. Not till it goes on some kind of sale.
Yeah, I don't need to play it at launch, even though I know I would enjoy it, so I'll probably wait for a sale.
I'm sure it'll be fun, but they're gonna do DLC. They're gonna do a whole bunch of stuff, so it's better to just get the ultimate copy or whatever they're going to call it once it's released, game of the year or whatever.
This is interesting what they've just said. This doctor who was training here lost his memories of the 2 months he'd been working at the hospital. So is there something that deliberately causes people to lose their memory in this?
Weird.
Thank you, Lyle. Yes, guys, I've been writing a lot of Co-Optimists, although I only wrote one article yesterday and I didn't write anything today. But please do check out my latest articles. I reviewed Skellboy Refractured, which is a really cool Zelda-style game for Switch and Steam. And yeah, I've just been writing about different things. Please check them out. I linked a lot of the articles in the newsletter. You can go there, or you can just go to Co-Optimus and click on like the last 10 articles, and 8 of them will be mine. So please do support us that way.
You're gonna end up owning that site.
Well, I'm the main writer right now for the summer, but then come fall, when I get busy, another guy will take over. Like, he was busy during the summer, so it worked out really well. Me stepping forward. And like I mentioned, I get paid for it. Not that much, but I'm getting paid, and so the extra money is also quite nice, And that's how I bought the new office chair, which I'm really enjoying. I forgot to mention it in the newsletter, but I did tweet about it before the stream, so maybe we'll include the picture next week's newsletter.
Gotcha. So you can do a week review.
Yeah. Because I've only been using it a couple days. But also the picture I took in front of the green screen, so I wonder if it'd be... Unfortunately, shadow really messes with it, but I wonder if anybody could do anything funny with the fact that it's on a green screen.
In space.
Yeah.
But on Mars. At least it'd get to Mars, unlike Elon Musk.
They lied when they said LMD is incurable. What? I was the one closest to you 7 years ago, so I know there's something wrong with this hospital. It just doesn't make sense. Uh-oh. Yeah, there's some kind of crime going on. Something not good.
Yeah, like that doctor who drugged you earlier. He gave you roofies.
That was weird. Uh-oh. Are you sure? Is your chat stuck, or is it not showing the latest post? Lyle says.
No, it seems fine.
Yeah.
It doesn't show the bot. It doesn't show the bot specifically, so the bot doesn't clog it up and spam it.
Oh.
I did that on purpose.
Nice work, Brian. Thank you, Darker Player. What have you guys in the audience been playing this week? I mentioned I played a lot of Round Guard and a little bit of Tetris and a little Borderlands 3. I think that's most of what I've done this week. What about you guys in the audience?
Mario Golf.
Mario Golf. And besides that, you were traveling, right?
Yeah, that's what I took with me when I was traveling.
Ah. Pinkman Plus. What's that, Spazpol? Is that a real thing, or are you saying, or is it a typo? Super Destronaut DX2. Yeah, I saw that came out. How fast did you get the achievements in that one, Spazpol? Let's skip this one then.
Mad Max. Interesting. Yeah. I haven't played that game. I've heard it's good.
Yeah, I'm surprised he wants to play it again, But replaying games is not something I'm very well built for, I guess. Unless it was on a different platform. I would do that. It's true. I mean, I remember when you played it the first time, and it does look like a cool game.
I'm trying to... I just bought The Pedestrian, which is a fun little two-dimensional puzzle game for the PC. So I want to play that. I have to get to Bravely Default too. I pre-ordered it and it's still sitting shrink wrapped on my shelf.
Oh dang! I do that sometimes too.
I need to stop doing that.
Because you pre-order something because you're thinking about it right then, but you don't really know what it's going to be like when it comes out. Like when it comes out, are you going to be busy with something else? You don't know.
Exactly. I don't know. Am I even going to be in the mindset of want to play a long JRPG? I have no idea.
That's exactly what happens to me all the time.
Yeah, it happens to me a lot too. I just don't know because especially if I have a problem. If I play a long JRPG, the next game I want to play is not a long JRPG.
Hey, that's not bad. Some variety, yeah. I finished reading Sweet Tooth, Brian. I guess you haven't been around when I discussed it. Sweet Tooth is a show on Netflix that I highly recommend everyone check out. But the comic that it's based on is a lot darker. Like, it's bleak. And the thesis of the comic, it's depressing. But, I mean, it doesn't necessarily have the most unhappy ending ever, but the general world that it creates is pretty freaking unhappy. So, but I do recommend the show. But anyway, I read the comic and I was like, wow, this is so depressing. And it was good, but I don't know if I don't necessarily recommend things that are that sad to people, So anyway, after I read that, I had to read, like Justice League / Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Like I had to read something lighthearted afterwards to cleanse the palate.
Oh, man. I think I posted this in the Discord when I started reading it, but I've finished... Well, I started, actually reading it and then finished it that day. I read Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir, who's the same guy who wrote The Martian. That book is awesome. I literally sat in my lazy boy recliner and read it almost all in one day, like all but like the first 2 or 3 chapters. That book
That's
was
impressive.
awesome. I'm hoping they turn it into a movie because it was amazing.
That was going to be my next question. By the way, Bob Jones read some Star Wars books, so he's also been reading, which is good. Tech Guy watched America the Motion Picture on Netflix. Was it funny, Tech Guy? It's like a weird satire movie about the founding of America, I think, and it's animated.
It's probably sad.
I don't know how to react. Oh, Spazpole, that's rough.
I'm sure there's a good audiobook, Spaz. You'll figure it out.
That's true. Audiobooks are actually a great option, even if you don't.
I also
like
just listened
reading.
to the audiobook of John Green's new book, The Anthropocene Reviewed.
No idea.
It's a pretty good book. He narrates the audiobook.
Ooh, it's usually good when the author does that. I listened to a Malcolm Gladwell book narrated by him. He has a great voice. Jewish guy, great writer.
Thanks. John Green, The Anthropocene Reviewed, is a podcast that got turned into a book.
Oh, wow.
I bought the audiobook version. So it's just him reading the same stuff.
I don't know, Spazpole is deaf too. That's rough.
Spazpole's boned. I'm sorry.
No easy
Not
way
much I
for
can
him.
do for you.
Whoa, Tech Guy mentions so there's some RoboCop, Avengers Endgame, and Star Wars stuff in the America the movie.
Interesting.
Interesting indeed. I will have to. I hope to be able to check it out, but right now we got to watch the Marvel movies, so there's no telling. Oh, but a couple months ago, it turns out they released a new season of Infinity Train. It's true that she passed away. Infinity Train is this amazing show that was on Cartoon Network, and now it's HBO Max exclusive for new seasons. Terrific show. Like each episode's like 11 minutes, and each season's 10 episodes. So basically, one season is a movie broken up into little episodes, little short ones. But it's terrific sci-fi, and it's really, the art is great. It's funny, interesting. Characters die sometimes. I highly recommend it. Yeah, you have HBO Max, you said, so you should really check it out if you get a chance. The episodes are so Infinity Train.
Infinity Train. All right.
Yeah, like one episode, 10 minutes, boom, knock it out. You'll see if you're intrigued or not.
I have been watching so much anime lately.
Ooh.
And the new season just started for the summer. So there's a bunch of new stuff that just came out.
Yeah, I saw the new Ultraman show just started too. It's called Ultraman Trigger, I think. And we're going to have to start watching that.
How many seasons of that show are there?
There's an insane number. Like probably, I mean, it's not.
They've been going constantly since what, the 70s?
Well, there were some years when they took a little bit of a break, but then they started up and they've just been going continuously since then. So it's kind of like Power Rangers or Kamen Rider, like tons of different shows of those as well.
Yeah,
but
there's a lot of good stuff this year, or this season anyway.
That's exciting. Anything you're particularly into? We'll find out, Icky.
I just started The Antelope on White Sand, or the Aquatope? The Aquatope on White Sand. Looks
That's
interesting.
not a good title. But...
It's a weird title. Remake Our Life looks interesting, and then Welcome to Demon School Iramakun is continuing its second season, which looks interesting. And the new Demon Slayer starts in the fall.
That's exciting.
Season 2.
Yeah, and the movie is finally available to buy on streaming services. So we haven't seen the movie.
Good.
Nice.
It's very good.
I'm going to buy it soon. We just haven't had a chance to watch it.
Yeah, I'm subscribed to High Dive, Crunchyroll, and Funimation.
Oh, wow.
I have a problem.
Well, we've got, what do we have? Netflix, Hulu, HBO Max, and for free we have Peacock, which we watch a lot less, of course. But
yeah.
But HBO Max has some anime on it that would otherwise be on Crunchyroll, so it's decent for that. Not great for it.
Crunchyroll has a lot of stuff.
Oh,
and
yeah.
They do a
ton.
lot of simulcast, which is awesome.
Yes.
Funimation's website is hot garbage.
Dang.
It is terrible. Their player constantly breaks on me. I hate that thing.
That's a shame. What about app-wise? I guess you're just watching on a computer, so you wouldn't
Yeah,
know.
I'm just watching on my PC. I heard the app was a hot mess when it launched because for like 4 months, iOS people couldn't use the app. Like it would start the video and it would just be black.
That's rough.
Yeah,
Even
Funimation is so bad.
HBO Max's app couldn't do 4K for the longest time. Now it can, thankfully.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, sure. That's true, Darker Player. Opening the door will set off a buzzer so anybody would spot us right away. So we're trying to sneak in and find some records because there's been wrongdoing that has led to the deaths of patients. We're investigating it. Oh yeah, Lyle and I, speaking of sneaking into places, Lyle and I, yesterday for about 3 hours, we played A Way Out from EA. Have you heard of that one?
Which one is that?
It's like your prison guys, prisoners escaping from
the
prison.
Co-op one.
Yeah, and it's split screen the whole time except for some of the cinematics.
Yeah,
so
it's pretty good. I watched
so
some
neat.
people, like husband and wife duos, stream that game. It's pretty good. The ending's good too.
Maybe I should have streamed it when Lyle and I were playing, but it was just so much fun. And yeah, I love that you can see what the other person is doing while you're playing, even though you're playing online.
Yeah, it's the same studio that's also doing the new one. It's the husband and wife one. It's the same sort of thing. It's the same split screen type gameplay where you have to help each other.
Yeah, yeah. Is that what's it called?
I can't remember.
I think I've vaguely heard of it. By the way, hi, homie Drew.
This one's the one you're playing is pretty short. It's maybe 8 hours. Their new game is like 40 or 50 hours. It is long.
That's a lot of writing involved for them.
Yeah, it's a pretty detailed game. It's
Lyle,
puzzles and stuff.
Icky was telling me about the series from Bandai Namco Europe that's like a horror game with a co-op focus. It's kind of similar. What was that called, Icky? There's 2 of them and a third one's coming out, whatever it is.
The co-op game from the same studio is called It Takes Two.
Oh, It Takes Two. Yeah.
Yep.
An appropriate title.
It's a good game. It's quite long, as I said. Cancel.
The Dark Pictures Anthology. Thank you.
I hope my Echo doesn't do something crazy.
You're fine right now. Oh, is that
my Echo, my Amazon Echo device on my desk?
Gotcha.
Because it keyed on something. Sometimes it does weird stuff, like turns all my lights on.
That's just what I was like, is it going to turn his lights off?
It could. That would be the ideal situation.
So I just lured the receptionist away somehow, and my friend snuck into the room, which makes a loud buzzing when he went in. Yeah, the Space Jam controllers, I think the Toon Squad one's actually kind of pretty. I don't know if I would pay $10 extra for one, but... And it's like, it's not a movie that anybody's going to love enough that they need a controller to commemorate it. That's the weird thing about them.
It's so weird.
Yeah, like if they did it for an Avengers movie, well, people love Avengers, so that makes sense.
Yeah, make your Captain America, your Thor, make all those stylized controllers. Well, why this particular movie?
Yeah, I mean, and it's not that I don't expect to enjoy it. It'll probably be an okay-ish movie, although Platinum's not looking forward to it. But, like, yeah, it's just a deal between Microsoft and Warner Brothers for some reason that also resulted in the Space Jam beat-em-up game, which I did like, and it's free, so that's cool.
I'm guessing Warner Brothers paid Microsoft a considerable sum of money.
And how can you say no to that?
Yeah. Free money's free money, man.
Yeah, so they do look cool. I agree, homie Drew. It's like, do I want to spend $10 extra for that? I don't know if I do or not, but if they went on sale, then I'd be really tempted.
I'm just waiting for a new Elite controller.
That also would be cool, since I didn't get an Elite 2. Perfect Zero was talking about that in chat, because he mixed up the Elite 1 and 2. So that reminded me, man, I never even had an Elite 2.
My wife has one. That thing is a beast. Freaking heavy. Feels like it's made of solid metal.
Wow. Yeah, you know what I don't like about the first Elite, and it's probably still a problem with the second one, is that the sticks are held on by magnets, and any little shock makes them just shoot right off. You drop it, those sticks are going flying. Good luck ever finding them again, you know? So.
Don't drop your controllers.
But that's, unfortunately, it's just a reality of life for us. Brandy is.
Not for me.
Yeah, I don't want to say anything, but Brandy may drop more things than the average bear. So.
Poor Brandy.
Yeah, but even, I mean, I have dropped my Elite and lost the stick for days at a time, you know, so it needs to be more solidly attached. You need to be able to lock it on and it will not come off. That would be great.
I mean, I suppose you could do that, but you'd have to have it like with a twist connection, which, you know, thumbsticks like that don't necessarily like to be twisted.
I see, yeah, so that it would add to the cost and maybe make it kind of a challenge.
Yeah.
And Homie Drew says the Sea of Thieves Xbox controller is hard to find, so he expects that will happen with the Space Jam ones.
I have thrown my controllers before, but that's not the same thing as dropping them.
That I've never done in my life.
My brother actually snapped one in half.
Whoa, jeez.
Controller. He has anger problems.
That's too
He
bad.
actually snapped a SNES pad in half.
Has he gotten any better about that as an adult?
Not really. Then again, I don't interact with him very much. He lives 1,500 miles away.
Yeah, I was thinking, I didn't think he lived in Florida.
No, none of my family lives in Florida.
Does your brother's
been here for decades?
Oh, well, does your brother's name rhyme with Brian? Like, for instance, Ryan?
No, thank you.
No?
My parents were not into that sort of thing. Or George, and George. I think I might have missed a George.
That would be weird.
He's strong and a bit dumb, Darker player, you know.
So you got the brains out of the two of you?
You've got the four of us.
Four of you, I see.
I have two sisters and a brother, and man, are they dumb.
Are you the only one who's above average intelligence?
Yes.
Me, we have got two sisters. I mean, I have two sisters and a half brother. One of my sisters is smarter than average, although she is crazy and unpleasant. So, you know, she's the one that I've disowned. Then my other sister is less than average intelligence, and she's the one who got the COVID because she wasn't taking any precautions. So that's a shame. Yeah, and then my half brother, he's a bit smarter than average, like not as smart as me or my sister, but he's got a really good natural work ethic, so he was really good in school and stuff, you know?
Congrats, homie Drew.
Yay, homie Drew, way to go. So, finding the record we were looking for in the room that we snuck in, I found my own name, patient Haruto Soraki. Soraki's his last name. Surgery date, April 1st, 7 years ago.
They cut out his brain.
Yeah, I'm interested. Dilated cardiomyopathy. That's a heart condition, right?
Correct.
Okay. Heart transplant. Whoa, he had a heart transplant? How could he not? He's got to have a huge scar on his chest.
You would notice that.
Yeah.
Because you'd be taking immunosuppressants
Your
for
whole
the rest
life?
of your life.
Wow. Also, this does seem to have like a little mild sci-fi angle to it, but very mild. But also, look, the Aoi, the donor, is the girl he was friends with that he was supposed to meet in 7 years' time.
Whoops. Well, there's the trick. She's been with him all along.
Wow. There's decent potential for this to have a ghost story element to it. The hospital was trying to hide this. Report into LMD and illegal. So I think it's a fictional disease.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, sometimes Lyle. But, yeah, you know, I mean, recently we had that friend of ours, a friend of the stream, who disappeared for a while, and then he came back and he was safe, but he also just went totally, I can't say the word, you know, bug something or bat something. He went nuts, you know, and I always knew he was a bit crazy, but we had managed to get along for the most part up until then. But I was just really sad, you know, like, it's just a shame how crazy people make life harder for everybody else. Yes, they did. So the lesson is, if you're crazy, you need to know that you're crazy and take actions to avoid inconveniencing people. That's the best thing you could do, in my opinion. Riku. Uh-oh, this is weird. Are we getting snatched? Oh, there's a light.
Yeah. You done got found out.
There's Sir Khalid saying thank you. Right on. Ichiki. Wait, that's the doctor. Yeah. Maybe I just had a blackout. You know, my guy blacks out apparently. He seemed a little out of it. This game has pretty good music, by the way. It fits the game well. Do you know what day it is today? Is this the clinic? Where's Riku? Calm down. Can you hear me? Yeah. Okay. It's Wednesday, right? It's Monday today, Haruto. Is my dude losing that much time? Wow. Monday, March 29th. What? He says. I'm really intrigued by this, but...
Weird. This is kind of a trippy story.
Yeah, I wish I had paid a little more attention to it, but that's okay. You know, it's just nice to connect and everything when we haven't talked in a while. Everybody, we have been playing 7 years from now for Nintendo Switch. It is also on Steam, and it's on mobile. The Steam and Switch versions cost $10, which is not a bad price at all for a very interesting adventure game. I mean, you can see this would be a good game to play on mobile too, because there's no precision involved. You just walk around and talk to people, and that keeps the story going. It doesn't look like it's even possible to get stuck, because there's not that many different things to try at any given moment. But it has a nice graphical style. That's what got me interested in streaming the Switch version, and very interesting story, you know, kind of like an anime or a manga. It's been cool, you know, it's been fun to stream this and just have a nice laid-back stream. You know, during the summer, I stream on Wednesdays and Saturdays at the same time, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. So please remember to join us for those streams. We would really appreciate it, guys. Got it, homie Drew. Thank you. Yeah, we will look forward to seeing you guys those days. Did I already thank you, Brian? Thanks for co-hosting.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Would have been a lot less fun without you, and a lot more reading. And Icky, thank you for running the contest like a boss, as always. Yes, I agree, Darker Player. It would be nice for it to come to Xbox and PlayStation 2. It's not that complicated game, so it can't be a very hard game to port, you know? Like, come on, just port it, make some money off of it, give us some dang achievements. I always love hanging out with you guys. I love giving free games to you, so always come back for that. We will see you Wednesday and Saturday, and remember, don't hate, appreciate.
Have a good one.
It's a shame Tyler wasn't here. What an SOB! Yes. All the way off, Steve. It's like being knocked off a horse. So let's say goodnight to all the cool individuals who hung out with us. I see Wolfblade and Thyrenia, of course. Tech Guy, Darker Player, Homie Drew, Sir Khalid. Who else was there? Vinny BT and BX Latino Heat. I bet they were here.
Longbox was here, but I think she bounced.
Oh yeah, Mongbox. Was Jordan here? I can't remember.
Jordan was as well, yes. Dre Blinken.
Dre Blinken, Spazpole. Did we say Tech Guy? We gotta say him twice.